everyone, my name is Jack from Cultaholic.com and we have another massive news piece for you. Literally massive, because as you can see from the title, WWE have decided to sign literally a giant to the Performance Center. That's not the only big news. I crack myself. That's not the only big news we have to talk about today. We also have news, spoilery news, I should warn you, about the participants in the upcoming NXT TakeOver War Games match. Also, some news about Kevin Owens' injury and the sort of reported time frame that he's expected to return. And finally as well, we have some rumoured names set to appear at WWE Evolution, the first ever all-women's pay-per-view. So let's crack right on with it and get straight into all of the news. Now we know that WWE has historically been the land of the giants over the years, and if you've ever met a WWE superstar in person, about sort of 8 or 9 times out of 10, they end up being taller than you expect. Like, just Billy Gunn is a stone golem of a man. He's huge when you walk past him, but they haven't really often dealt in actual giants. Maybe the Big Show, you could say, maybe Andre, but you know, they've been few and far between. They've just signed a 7'3" college basketballer named Jordan Omar-Behin. Now, I've only just quickly watched a few little college basketball highlights on my computer out there. He is a big boy. He's a very big man indeed. Now obviously I'm as much of a smart as everyone else. I love little nimble indie guys who are great at submissions and reversals and flips and that sort of thing. But giants have their place in professional wrestling. There is always room for just a big lad in pro wrestling. And this guy, if he can be, you know, taught in any way how to kind of bump and sell and that sort of thing, he won't be doing much selling in WWE, then I think he could be a real asset for the company, because just from some grainy footage I've seen of a basketball court, he's a big boy, and that wasn't next to normal sized people, that was next to other basketballers as well. He is large. This was part of WWE's announcement for their newest Performance Center class, which includes some pretty big names, including the likes of Matt Riddle, he's probably the biggest name in the whole thing. Chelsea Green as well, who's really impressed in the past few months with her work in Impact, Lucha Underground, and also, of course, at All In. She's a wonderful blend of great character work and great wrestling too. Moving on now to the news about NXT TakeOver War Games, and I should point out, remember, this is spoilers, this hasn't yet aired on NXT, this was only taped, I believe, last night. So the participants for the War Games match are set by William Regal, and there's a pretty clear heel babyface divide here. We have on one side the Undisputed Era, all 4 members, including Bobby Fish. It looks like he'll be returning to action, so that's Bobby Fish, Kyle O'Reilly, Roderick Strong, and the leader, Adam Cole. Baby. Then on the babyface side of things, we have the War Raiders, Pete Dunne, and the NXT North American Champion, Ricochet. So for me, honestly, that lineup is like match of the year candidate stuff. That's 10 out of 10 excitement for me. I cannot wait for TakeOver War Games. Now moving on to news from the Wrestling Observer newsletter courtesy of Dave Meltzer regarding Kevin Owens' scheduled sort of time frame, the expected time that he's going to return from his injury. As you may have seen on social media recently, Kevin Owens has just undergone surgery on his legs, both of his knees, and made a joke of it. He said, oh, they were doing 2 for 1 on Twitter. Good one, Kev. I'm glad he's putting a brave face on it, because I'm worried that I was worried that he's going to be out for a long, long time, but Meltzer seems to think that he could be back sooner than I expected anyway, but I'm no medical professional. So Meltzer reckons that Kevin Owens is going to be back around sort of the end of February, start of March time, so he'll probably miss out on the Royal Rumble, but guess what? Crucially, he looks like he's going to be back in action in time for KO Mania 4 or 5. How many KO Manias have there been? He'll be back in time for the big one for WrestleMania. But the question I want to ask is, will Owens return as a heel or a babyface? Because he's obviously been a heel for the vast majority of his WWE career, both in NXT and on the main roster. He's only been a babyface in a smarky sense, in that everyone bloody loves him, so they cheer for him. But if you get down to his core, Kevin Owens is a heel. However, just before he took time off to recover from this surgery, he was kind of a babyface because he was part of that double turn angle with Bobby Lashley and Kevin Owens. He is Kevin Owens, but he was part of that double turn angle with Bobby Lashley and Lio Rush. So I'm wondering, when KO comes back, will WWE take the plunge? Because when he comes back, we know he's going to get a massive pop, regardless of whether he's actually heel or babyface. So will WWE take the plunge and turn Kevin Owens? And if they do, is that a good idea? Let us know what you think in the comments section down below. And finally, some names have been reported by PW Insider ahead of WWE Evolution. Now, because this is the first ever all women's pay-per-view, and because the women's roster is quite shallow compared to the men's roster in terms of sheer numbers, then you can expect them to be bringing back a lot of old names, a lot of legends, and a lot of NXT call-ups as well for this event. And we have 3 legends rumoured to be appearing in some capacity on the show. The first big name rumoured by PW Insider is WWE Hall of Famer Alundra Blaze, one of the most crucial figures in women's wrestling history, and a very good wrestler as well, in my opinion. We often see her crop up around sort of WrestleMania time, so I think this is probably a pretty valid report. I wouldn't be surprised at all to see her involved in Evolution in some capacity. Also, it's been reported that Ivory, again a WWE Hall of Famer, just a newly elected, newly appointed, newly inducted WWE Hall of Famer since this year. She has apparently been rumoured also. I love Ivory. I think she's one of the best characters in women's wrestling history, and I would love for her to appear at the event as well. I think she fully deserves it. And finally, someone that I think nobody could disagree with appearing there. She's not a Hall of Famer. I had to check this before the video, but apparently Molly Holly has also been rumoured. And I mean, surely she should be in the Hall of Fame. She's now one of the people I want to see inducted at next year's Hall of Fame ceremony, because Molly Holly is one of the most underrated women's wrestlers, I think, ever, of all time. And I'd love to see her at Evolution as well. So that's it for now. Thank you very much for watching this news video. My name has been Jack from Cultaholic.com. You can follow me on Twitter if you want to, Jack the Jobber. You can follow all of us at Cultaholic, and check out our Patreon too, patreon.com/Cultaholic. And never forget, of course, to hit subscribe and to join us.